on schedule to be completed by the 15th of April 2026. The construction of major access roads, including Bulawayo Mapisa and Gwanda Mapisa, is ongoing and targeted for completion by August 2026. In the interim, measures will be taken to ensure these roads are trafficable and the tours are closed in time for the event. Repairs to stormwater drainage, grading and gravelling are underway on other major roads, including Mapisa, Mfowengs, Sanyetsen, Manama, and St. Joseph, Sanyetsen, as part of ongoing maintenance works to improve access to the celebration venue. The Children's Party is scheduled for the 17th of April 2026 at Maheche Primary School, with 3,050 child delegates participating. His Excellency, the President, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, will host the event.
The public sector job evaluation roadmap was also outlined.
Following the adoption of the Public Service Commission job evaluation exercise by Cabinet on the 10th of September 2024, the following milestones have since been achieved. 1. Job evaluation exercises for independent commissions and grant-aided institutions, uniformed forces sector, health services sector, higher and tertiary education sector, and foreign missions have been completed. Number 2, misaligned grades of the same jobs across public service, health service sector, and independent commissions and grant-aided institutions have been realigned.
An update on the tour of economic flagship projects in the Manicaland province, including the assessment of the 100-day cycle projects across the country, were some of the key takeaways of this Tuesday's cabinet meeting. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
An air of excitement has gripped Mapisa Growth Point in Matabeleland South Province ahead of the independence celebrations set for this Saturday. And now we link up with Providence Maranelli, who is in Mapisa, to tell us more about what's happening in Mapisa. Good evening, Providence. Can you just give us a little bit of detail on what's happening in Mapisa, how the mood is like tonight? I mean, 4 days to go until Zimbabwe celebrates its independence, and it's coming to Mapisa. How is it like? How is the mood like in Mapisa tonight?
Thank you. It's a very good evening here in Mapisa, with just 3 days left before the national independence celebrations are held right here at this venue here in Mapisa, in Matobo district of Matabeleland South. There's a sense of pride among the people here. They simply just cannot miss anything. From waking up as early as 6 o'clock in the morning to watch the security forces rehearsals, to partaking in all the activities that needs community involvement, this is a community that is ready to welcome the nation on the 18th. This is also a community that has seen unprecedented development unfold before their eyes. Just a few months ago, this whole area was a bushy area, but now it is ready to host Highlanders and Scotland in the Uhuru Cup final. Earlier in the day, we visited Chief Fuyane Umapisa, and he had this to say on the unmatched development that has transformed this once marginalized community.
Imayiche primary leMayiche secondary school ngesingathi kumbe thina sikhula izikolo ezifana leziyana emakhaya bezingavamanga lakhathesi kusesenjalo ngoba ngiyakhangela kathi sinxa sila eMayiche secondary laphana sesingayifananisa leminda indlela izakhiwe sezimi ngayo futhi ezeMayiche siphinde zibe ngeza kulezi insuku science lab ekhona phana inhle into omangalisa lathi azange sifunde yiyo kodwa sasifunda kuma mission schools azange sifunde ilokuze nefana la yena la inqobo isikithi singabazali beMayiche ukuthi abantwana balaphana senelisa ukuthi sibakhuthaza ukuthi bafunde ngoba izakhiwo sesikhona inguquko ebekhona laphana ku infrastructure development kumbe ngithi izakhiwo angaze ngiyibone mina lokho ngaba ngathwetshulwa yingwe.
Now, beyond the one-day event, government has invested millions of dollars in the construction of legacy projects like the Gwanda Mapisa Road, Bulawayo Kezi Road, Plum Tree Maitengwe Road, the Joshua Nkomo Vocational Training Center in honor of the late Vice President Dr. Joshua Nkomo, 40 science and computer laboratories across Matabeleland South, 40 village business units and across Matoa District, Felabusi Civil Registry, and other projects that speak to the needs of the communities here in Matabeleland South. Matabeleland South was this year's National Independence Celebrations right at this stadium, running under the theme Zim at 46, Unity and Development towards Vision 2030. This is all I have for now. It's back to you in the studio.
Many thanks to you, Providence Maranelli. And now in our following report, Zimbabwe has received the last Zimbabwe soapstone bed of national significance from South Africa, alongside 8 ancestral human remains in a historic act of cultural restitution that underscored deepening bilateral ties between the two countries. The repatriation, undertaken at the instruction of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, comes as Zimbabwe marks 46 years of independence, adding a symbolic weight to ongoing efforts to reclaim heritage lost during the colonial era. The Zimbabwe bed, carved from soapstone centuries ago at the ancient city of Great Zimbabwe, is widely regarded as a powerful emblem of the country's rich cultural heritage and identity. Historians note that the sculptures dating back to between the 11th and 15th centuries once stood as guardians of a thriving African civilization. However, during the late 19th century, several of these artifacts were taken from Zimbabwe amid colonial plunder and dispersed across the globe. Since attaining independence in 1980, Zimbabwe has engaged in sustained diplomatic efforts to recover these national treasures, with many of the soapstone beds gradually returning home. The repatriation is seen as the final and most significant of the 8 birds, arriving more than 4 decades after independence and nearly 140 years since the first bird was taken and sold to colonial figure Cecil John Rhodes. South Africa's Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, described the repatriation as a moment of justice, memory and healing. Deputy Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Reverend Paul Damasani, said the occasion reflects the deep historical ties between Zimbabwe and South Africa, rooted in a shared past of struggle and solidarity. And now we move on to our following report, where business people from Manicaland Province have pledged to replicate the First Lady, Dr. Auxilium Mnangagwa's key programs in their communities, including the Drug Survivors Rehabilitation Initiative.
Manicaland Province has taken the lead in backing the transformative programs being spearheaded by the First Lady, Dr. Auxilium Mnangagwa, through Angel of Hope Foundation, with the provincial leaders and business people pledging to roll out similar initiatives in Manicaland. The drug rehabilitation project is first on their agenda. The team, led by the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, visited the First Lady at her Zimbabwe House offices, where discussions were centered on the Angel of Foundation's flagship programs. They paid glowing tribute to the First Lady for a hands-on approach in assisting vulnerable communities.
Minister, thank you very much for coming. We have to stay together intact as a family and work and way forward or what we want to achieve.
They described their work as practical, inclusive and timely.
As Manicaland, tinoyemura zvikuru mabasa ari kuitwa namai vedu, our First Lady, Dr. Auxilium Mnangagwa. Throughout the whole country, mabasa aya kumaNicaland akatekeshera, asi we have realized kuti nyika inovakwa nevana vayo zvinotaurwa napresident. Isu tisu mamaNicalanders, with our stakeholders in the business community, taona zvakakodzera kuti tishande namai pamaprojects avo ese aikumaNicaland. We want to adopt zvakaitwa kuMbare namai, where there is this very big establishment, rehab center, which is helping the whole country. We are told now kune over 300 people vana vashata nema drugs who are being assisted there. We want the same infrastructure, the same program in Manicaland.
We are here to support our mother, the mother of the nation, as the youth, but she's doing this for us, and we are here in full support of whatever she's doing. So we are very eager to participate, we are eager to learn, we are eager to showcase that our mother, we are with you. This is this is my youth, TV, Pakutrama drugs.
Dr. Mnangagwa's initiatives, they noted, have restored hope for thousands nationwide, particularly in health, social welfare, women empowerment, and youth development. Manicaland now wants to extend that impact with a sharp focus on tackling rising drug and substance abuse. Touched by the gesture, the First Lady responded with humility and heartfelt thanks. She outlined some of the programs that she's implementing countrywide through the Angel of Hope Foundation. Dr. Mnangagwa also told the delegation that there are plans to replicate some of the programs like the Drug Rehab Center, who will go a long way in the fight against drug and substance abuse. The representatives from Manicaland also had a tour of the Angel of Hope Drug Rehab Center, where they held the state-of-the-art rehabilitation facility that was established by the First Lady, describing it as a sanctuary of hope. They said that with neatly kept surroundings, comfortable bedrooms, modern ablution facilities and spacious training grounds, the center has become a national model of how to tackle the drug menace with dignity and compassion. The delegation also got to witness not only the infrastructure but also the lived realities of the recovering youths. The beneficiaries who have already started finding their smiles again were paying attention during counseling sessions, and they were also energetically participating in structured physical exercises designed to cleanse the body and mind. The Mbare Rehab Center, one of the country's largest and most successful, was singled out as the blueprint. As stakeholders said, demand for such facilities in Manicaland is urgent as substance abuse continues to erode youth productivity and community stability. The business community led by the bus operators Dr. Esau Mfumi and Dr. Alfred Mukumba pledged an ambulance for use at the Angel of Hope Drug Rehab Center. The delegation also committed resources to support the work at the facility.
Tasvika pano taona ruoko rwamai rwekuyamura vana nerudo rwavo rwokutorai mese kugadzirai pfungwa dzenyu kuti mudzoke back kuvanhu.
Ndaona wanhu wakadzikinurwa wairwara, asi nhasi ndikuona kuti voimba masongs vane mufaro. Saka isusu tazoona zvakanaka sevana veManicaland kuti tidonate ambulance tiri wairi, uye chirongwa ichocho ichi tikuda kuti chiitike zvekuManicaland, nekuti tikutotsvaka nzvimbo kuManicaland kuti kuite the same program iyoyi.
Chinhu chakanaka chese chinotengwa pamberi pekaunda, chinotengwa nemunhu akatopamwa akasorova tai wozoti apa ndikutoa neresponsible person. Mazvona vaningina vangu ndoda kuti shuwiro yangu ndeyekuti patinodzoka rimwe gore imimi tokuonai muri kudivi kwandataura kwere.
The First Lady was deeply humbled by the gesture. Visibly moved, she expressed a sincere gratitude to the business community, noting that such support will go a long way in strengthening services at the center while changing lives. As the First Lady extends her life-changing programs across Zimbabwe, Manicaland has confirmed it stands ready to partner and replicate the work, ensuring that no one and no place is left behind. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Political analysts say the proposal to increase the number of senators under Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill will expand the pool of potential ministers, allowing the president to appoint workhorses to propel the country's socio-economic development.
Amongst the 21 clauses of the Constitutional Amendment Number 3 Bill, Clause 8 proposes allowing the President to appoint 10 additional senators, bringing the total number of senators which will sit in Parliament to 90. Now, according to the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, the move is aimed at bringing in broader technical expertise, expanding the pool of potential ministers, whilst helping to reduce political and social divisions. Political analysts are of the view that the move, if passed, is a step in the right direction towards strengthening constitutional governance.
This is a good move considering that he can choose technocrats, he can choose professionals from various areas, various fields, and the ones these senators are selected or chosen by the president, he can now appoint them to be head of ministries, to also steer development in this country. What we really need in Zimbabwe is development, people-centered approaches to development.
Political scientist Dr. Levius Chiukira said the proposal will improve the upper house's oversight role.
Election is about popularity, and sometimes there are people who are not that popular, but who might be very critical and essential in terms of their relevance and their worth in terms of contributing to these senatorial debates and the legislation. As the legislature, we need some people. So that inclusion, to say the appointment by the president, allows the president to identify people with special function and special skills, which will allow the diverse, rather than riding only on popularity of votes. We also need to balance with specific needs that the Senate will be looking forward to and having.
Now, upon the lapsing of the 90-day consultation period, which began on the 16th of February, when the Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Advocate Jacob Mudenda, gazetted the bill, the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs will give formal presentation and notice of the bill in the National Assembly, paving way for the first reading. Panashe Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
The ruling ZANU-PF party is walking the talk in its inclusive development approach after unveiling an empowerment program in Budiriro North, a constituency dominated by the opposition. According to the ruling party, the borehole sinking initiative unveiled in Budiriro this Tuesday signals the start of a massive rollout of empowerment projects targeting opposition-led constituencies.
Tose pano tiri vanasawira nanasawira mukoma nemunin'ina. So nasi it's a testimony kwatiri and all doubting Thomases that when we engage the president avatarise bato rawabva.
Two parties, one common goal. The ruling ZANU-PF and the opposition CCC have merged under one common purpose, that is to ensure livelihoods are uplifted despite their political differences.
It's a program that has gone beyond partisan lines, recognizing that development should be for everyone, harnessing every community regardless of political affiliation. The presidential borehole sinking scheme unveiled in Budiriro North constituency signals not only development but political maturity that is embracing tolerance ahead of indifferences. This working pact has been held as it underlines the national call towards uplifting communities through enhanced empowerment.
This initiative is a very clear demonstration of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, unwavering commitment to his mantra of leaving no one and no place behind.
According to opposition members, this constructive partnership is essential to foster good governance.
President Mnangagwa is a man indeed, a man enough. Now, the Second Republic, unity is key.
Community development is the hallmark of government programs, in line with the national vision of inclusivity.
president vari kuti development nebudiriro kumunhu wese saka haikona kusara padevelopment.
According to ZANU-PF leadership, bipartisan cooperation ensures major development projects are sustained.
Soda iyoyo mweya wekubatana ufambe matiri, mweya wekuteerera president wedu uwe matiri.
ZANU-PF Central Committee member Dr. Kulakwashe Tagwire said the current trajectory is reflective of a national agenda that is strongly focused on inclusive social and economic development, democratic governance and unity.
Well, it's truly remarkable that Zimbabweans can come together for a change and work together for a common cause. We are all interested in development. Vanhu vari kuda mvura, vanhu vari kuda kuti vabudirire, and the president vedu ndo vatiratidza direction yezvinhu izvi.
The presidential borehole drilling scheme is one of the critical interventions that is being undertaken by government to ensure that it relieves communities that had endured many decades of erratic water supplies. Now, following the unveiling of this project, the expectation is that this will be replicated over many communities who had endured many years of non-running taps. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
Government is drafting the Media Practitioners Bill, a key piece of legislation aimed at effectively regulating the qualifications and professional classification of media practitioners.
Who is a journalist? What guides the profession? Now, to answer this question, the government, through the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, is drafting the Media Practitioners Bill. This bill is coming at a time when the media fraternity has broadened. There are podcasters, there are social media influencers, there are content creators, citizen journalists, and journalists themselves. Now this bill will bring sanity into the industry by clearly defining the roles and the qualifications for the operationalization of the profession. The Deputy Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Ompile Marupi, who presided over the drafting process here in Kadoma, said this proposed piece is long overdue.
We are basically after establishing and coming up with legislation that is going to be followed and adhered to, having noted some serious concerns that were emanating in this field, in this profession, where some ethics were not being followed, where anyone could just operate without some standard procedures or some ethics that are used as guidelines.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Nikki Mangwana, reiterated government's commitment towards ensuring a safe operating environment for the media.
Information is fluid. It is pervasive. A person with a smartphone and a social media account can gather and disseminate to millions in seconds without a license, without ethics, and without accountability. This is the fundamental dilemma we face, and we face today. And this is the issue that we have to grapple with in this room today.
Key stakeholders will include the Zimbabwe Media Commission and the Attorney General's Office are attending this workshop.
If we are to come up with a media practitioner bill, there is a need for a clear distinction as to who is a media practitioner. And a media practitioner bill will be regulating the professionals. So anyone who is not within the professional ambit will not be regulated by the media practitioner bill.
The Zimbabwean government has already shown its commitment in creating a safe operating environment for the media. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
Media players have reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Zimbabwe's development agenda and safeguarding national interests through responsible reporting and strategic communication.
The media has been cited as a powerful tool influencing social dialogue and public discourse, and as a key information dissemination tool, the media continues to play a critical role towards the national unity and cohesion towards development. As such, this Tuesday, media executives met at the Zimbabwe Staff College for a lecture centering on the role that the media plays in national security and development. ZBC CEO Mr. Sugar Chagonda said the national broadcaster is committed to playing its part in enhancing and maintaining the government's vision of an upper middle income society through a deliberate messaging.
Coverage of agricultural innovation, industrialization initiatives, investment opportunities, and youth empowerment programs encourages Zimbabweans to actively participate in national development. The public broadcaster therefore acts as a bridge between national policy and citizen action. ZBC has transitioned from being a traditional broadcaster to being a catalyst for economic transformation. As a strategic driver of the National Development Strategy 2. I'm sure we are all aware of this strategic document. As ZBC, just like Zim Papers and my colleagues here, we are also there to unpack what NDS2 is all about, so that we make sure that in that conversation, the citizens are also included.
Other representatives from media houses that include the Zim Papers Group, NRTV, as well as The Patriot, also shared their views on the evolving media landscape, calling for collaboration that advances national interests.
In terms of national security and development, we play a very key role as Zim Papers. Our editorial thrust is guided by national interest. First and foremost, national interest. What we write, what are we writing, who are we writing for, what is the intention of the article. We have had news, those stories that we write every day on the general pages, those that we find that we post on our digital platforms, on our websites.
We also consider information security as much important as media literacy. And why does the media matter? It matters because it shapes public perceptions of threats. For example, a recent study covering 66 countries found that people who rely more on social media for information tended to perceive higher levels of insecurity because they are aware of what is happening. So you tend to feel insecure.
Let us have as many organizations, as many newspapers, television stations, radio stations as we can, so that we get to hear all the voices.
The convergence of media players at the Zimbabwe Staff College reaffirms the media's commitment to advancing national interests, and as the country journeys towards an upper middle income society by the year 2030, the media is expected to remain a key partner towards this vision set by government. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, do remember, for more news, you can log on to our website, zbcnews.co.zw. You can also visit our X handle at ZBC News Online. On Facebook, we are at ZBC News Online. And, of course, our YouTube channel is at ZBC News Online. And now a look at stories still to come in this bulletin. In business, record milk output as production rises 7.5% in first quarter. And in sports, Better Lions are drawn for Uhuru Cup, pitting Scotland and Highlanders this Saturday. And our main news is off to a break. We will be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you are watching the main news. The HIV and AIDS response in Mashonaland Central Province is evolving beyond treatment and prevention, with renewed focus on restoring hope among vulnerable groups. One such initiative, the Young Mentor Mother Program, is transforming the lives of adolescent girls and young women living with HIV, many of whom face stigma and limited opportunities after early pregnancies.
Here in Mashonaland Central Province, where more than 103,000 people are HIV positive, the fight against the epidemic is taking a more personal turn, focusing not just on statistics, but on young lives. Through the National AIDS Council and UNICEF authorities are rolling out the Young Mentor Mother Program, an initiative designed to support adolescent girls and young women who fall pregnant early.
Right now, mwanangu ndine 16 years. Yeah, zvanga zvakaoma nekuti vabereki vangu vanga vasingadi kuzvinzwa zvekuti ndaita pamuviri. My young mothers ndikuvabatsira kuti kana wakaita mwana uri mwana mudiki unokwanisa kudzokera kuchikoro. Zvakawanda zvinoita kuti udzokere kuchikoro. Kana usina mari tomukurudzira kuti vaite ma projects akasiyana siyana. Unokwanisa kana kutengesa madomasi kana kutorima magarden kana kutoita project yehuku.
The Young Mentor Mothers are working within their communities, guiding fellow young women on how to protect themselves from HIV while raising healthy children.
Patiri kusangana nima Young Mothers, tikuvadzidzisa kuti munhu tikuda kudzivirira, toda a free generation from HIV. Sakani tikutora PrEP kuti munhu ange achidziviririka kubva kune utachiwana hweHIV. Kuti munhu anga achikwanisa kutora PrEP anofanira akateswa ari HIV negative.
At district level, Shepherd Zanamwe says the focus is clear: protect adolescent girls and young women who remain the most vulnerable.
The program is a prevention program where we are taking all the combination, what we call combination prevention strategies. We talk of issues to do with pre-exposure prophylaxis, the one the Young Mentor Mother was talking about. We also talk about issues to do with condoms, condom distribution. We've also trained them on STIs. We also need to prevent STIs. As you know, STIs are more of a highway to HIV infection.
In a province where adolescent girls remain among the most vulnerable to HIV, this targeted approach is shifting the narrative from despair to determination. As Zimbabwe pushes towards ending HIV and AIDS by 2030, initiatives like the Young Mentor Mother Program are proving that with the right support, every young mother can rise again and reclaim her future while ensuring an HIV-free generation. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Shamba.
Still on health issues, devolution funds have enhanced access to quality healthcare services in rural Zvishavane after the construction of a new clinic bringing health services to people's doorsteps.
Funded by government through the devolution funds, Chirere Clinic is transforming health service delivery in the district, bearing testimony to the Second Republic's commitment to improving access to quality primary health care services in rural areas, in line with the National Development Strategy 2. The facility is providing quality health care services to villagers who previously had to travel long distances to Chenunguru and Madzivadondo clinics in neighboring Chivi district in Masvingo province.
Tevane dambudziko hombe tisati tichavhurwa chipatara nokufamba nzvimbo distance yakareba tichienda kune dzimwe nzvimbo. Saka ike zvino zvatinyorekerawo kuti ane chipatara padhuze.
Chipatara ichi chakatikoshera kubva chakuya vantu kurarama zvakanaka.
The construction of Chirere Clinic is not only a landmark achievement for the community, but also demonstrates government's commitment to addressing healthcare disparities in rural areas. Government's focus on devolution and local development underscores a broader vision for equitable growth and sustainable community development across the country. Courage Ushe, ZBC News, Swishavane.
Government has called for an all-stakeholders approach in the fight against drug and substance abuse as the menace continues to devastate communities.
As drug and substance abuse continue to ravage communities, particularly among young people, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, together with other stakeholders in Masvingo Province, have taken the awareness campaign to the streets. The awareness march culminated at Mucheke Stadium, where communities raised concern over rising cases of drug abuse, saying they are fueling criminal activities and disturbing peace in their neighborhood.
Mumatigere umu vana vaparara, vana vapera. Kare taiti ndi boy child, patiko zvino zvabata na girl child.
Mukaona munhu wafungwa, mukatarisa background yake kudhakwa, munotoona maitiro acho, unotanga achingeta sokutamba sokudi.
Vamwe vari kutadza kudzidza kumasikuzi kwatiri uko nekuda kwenyaya yemadrugs. Saka tinotenda nechirongwa ichi.
Sevechidiki vanoenda kuchikoro, madrugs ari kukanganisa zvakanyanyisa because vamwe vacho vari kutora zvinodhaka vanotopedzisira vaviolent zvekuti hamusokwanisi kudzidza zvakanaka even kumaboarding houses kwatinenge tiri.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police called upon communities to work hand in glove with law enforcement agencies to ensure drug peddlers are brought to book.
Muri kuona kuti dzimwe nguva tsaona dzatiri kuona mumugwagwa vanhu vanenge vakabatora zvinodhaka. Timoona vanhu vanouraya vabereki vachiisa mitupi pasi pemibhedha, vanhu vanenge vakatora zvinodhaka. Kozoita vamwe vanhu vanobata chibharo, vanhu vanenge vakatora zvinodhaka. Saka zvazvinoreva ndezvekuti izvo mhuri yeZimbabwe kusanganisira kuno kumasvingo ngaibatane nemapurisa pakurwisana nezvinodhaka, pakumangara vanotengesa, pakumangara vanotiwa havasungwe kana vaita zvinodhaka, uyezve nevanhu vanenge vaine madrug bases.
Kuti iwewe mugari wemunomu mira panzvimbo pako, ukamira panzvimbo pako vedrugs and narcotics vachakusunga.
Masvingo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, said government is establishing rehabilitation centers across the country as part of efforts to curb the scourge.
We gather here because the problem is fast becoming a national security issue, threatening not only to steal our future but also the very existence of our national ethos.
Government is working on a number of strategies to curb the rising cases of drug and substance abuse, including the establishment of rehabilitation centers, engagement with communities, and intensified awareness campaigns. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
Zimbabwe's ongoing police reforms and efforts to strengthen service delivery have come into focus, with stakeholders pointing to leadership, training and welfare improvements as critical pillars in enhancing law enforcement. This comes in the wake of reflections made during the retirement send-off of ZRP Assistant Commissioner Christopher Ngulube in the Midlands Province.
Security and stability are key enablers of socio-economic development, providing the foundation for investment, productivity and protection of livelihoods. The Second Republic is prioritizing the transformation of the Zimbabwe Republic Police into a professional, accountable and people-centered service with targeted support, improving mobility, tools of trade and operational efficiency.
In view of the foregoing, I extend my profound appreciation to the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, as a renowned advocate and service delivery and empowerment champion for spearheading support systems that enhance the smooth operations of the Zimbabwe Republic Police to ensure maintenance of law and order. Since the inception of the Second Republic in November 2017, His Excellency the President of the Republic has transformed the Zimbabwe Republic Police into a professional and responsive, people-oriented force. Furthermore, conditions of services our officers was improved through the provisions of service vehicles, food rations.
In a speech read on his behalf, ZRP Commissioner General Stephen Mtamba stressed the importance of a disciplined workforce. In the Midlands province, the reforms are yielding measurable results, with police dismantling 78 drug bases and arresting over 300 suspects in intensified operations against substance abuse. Disaster response systems have also improved, with a joint operation rescuing 19 people.
And our main news is after a break. We will be back with business news. Welcome back. We move on to business news, where government has approved producer prices for the 2025-2026 summer season for maize, traditional grains, soybean and sunflower. In a statement, the Grain Marketing Board confirmed that the price of maize and traditional grain is pegged at $364 United States dollars per metric ton. Soybean is pegged at $583 United States dollars per metric ton, while sunflower will be sold at $670 United States dollars per metric ton. In our next report, government interventions in the agricultural sector continue to bear fruit, with the dairy sector recording an increase of more than 7% in milk volumes in the first quarter of the year compared to the same period last year.
Production of milk in the country continues to be on an upward trajectory, and from the statistics that were listed this week, there is a big jump in terms of milk volumes being produced in the country. We managed to visit the Zimbabwe Association of Dairy Farmers to get an overview of what is happening in this sector.
The growth that we have experienced in the first quarter is actually following the trend that has been there over the past years, where we have seen growth in the dairy production. So this first quarter we can highly attribute it to the good rainfall season. We have also seen an improvement in general managed practice by the farmers due to that's a response to extension services that are being offered with the private sector together with government.
The country has been importing quite a lot of products, and milk is one of those. And such interventions that are being put by government to curb the import bill are working very well. Dr. Prince Kuyipa is an economist with the Zimbabwe Farmers Union to just give us an analysis of those trends that are happening in the dairy sector.
The demand for milk, there is a gap between the supply and demand of milk and necessitating imports. But the gap is such that if we increase our production of milk, there will not be any need to import milk and milk products, because we now have sufficient. We are not yet there, but we are slowly going at the trajectory is such that we are slowly going towards achieving sufficiency in milk production.
According to the latest National Crop and Livestock Report, the national dairy head has increased by 7.5%, up from 65,000 to over 70,000 cattle. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Government remains committed to improving livestock production through capacitating rural farmers with practical skills in pen fattening, stock feed production, and livestock disease control.
Songe farm owned by Mr. Garikai Mushava in the Javaira area under Chief Munyaradzi in Gutu is fast becoming a model for livestock production, with its integrated approach to farming, drawing interest from communities and learning institutions. The farm, which produces its own stock feed, has evolved a learning hub for local farmers, as well as students from various tertiary institutions who are gaining hands-on experience in modern livestock management practices.
So I take my feeds for all these livestock. Tinoita inonzi own farm feed formulation. Tinogadzira mafeeds edu panapa. Mombe dzedu tinotenga local. Then kukaita problem yekuti kune disease iriko, tinobatsira futi mafarmers. Tinogona kuenda kuti tinovabatsira kubaya.
Stakeholders in the livestock sector converged at the farm over the weekend for a Zimbabwe Beef Producers Society Field Day, where farmers were equipped with practical knowledge on feed formulation, pen fattening, and livestock disease management.
Kuchengetwa kweng'ombe kwakanaka pamwe chete nehuku. Chidzidzo chandaitihwa nhasi ichi chandiitira kuti ndigonewo kukopa zvakanaka.
Tisashayawo zvokuita, tofanirwa kunodzidzawo kurima tiri mumisha yedu tichiwana zvokuita.
Project ino iri kuda kusimudzira muno kumamisha kuma-communal areas. Tinotora mombe idzodzo dzinenge dzasakara kana kuti dzinenge dzisitori dzepasi pasi, and then todzifeeder after 90 days. mombe dzedu dzinenge dzanaka.
The Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Mechanization and Water Resources Development, Honorable Davis Marapira, reaffirmed the government's commitment to growing the national herd.
Tirima partners in development through rural development. Tinoda kuona kuti nzvimbo yega yega ine chinoita kuti vanhu vaemployiwe. Pano pari kutodzidza vana vanobva kuma colleges, pari namamanager akatodzidza zvidzidzo zvavo chaizvo zveagriculture.
The country's national herd currently stands at 5.7 million cattle, with government implementing several strategies to ensure they unlock the value of that herd. Max Machina, ZBC News, Gutu.
From business news, we move on to arts news on a rather sad note, where the film and television industry bid farewell to veteran actress Memory Vusiso, who was buried in Buhera today, ending a celebrated career that touched many across Zimbabwe and beyond.
Best known for her outstanding roles in productions such as Puma Enaka and Paraffin, Vusiso was widely regarded as a gifted and versatile performer whose ability to embody complex characters earned her admiration from colleagues and audiences alike. Fellow creatives said her talent was unmatched, noting her ability to fully immerse herself into roles that made her one of the most dependable figures in the industry.
Memory had the ability to shake herself up and able to disappear into a given role. Munhu okampa role. Waibuda wainge munhu asvikirwa deliver.
Film industry players added that beyond her on-screen brilliance, Vusiso was a mentor and a mother figure to many.
She was so humble. She would come in like, Joe Manangu, Uribo, together, like, so she would not even make you feel uncomfortable, you know, and deliberate, like she was the life of the set.
Primary school, but ndakazoshanda navo as I was the assistant director of Studio 263. Shanda naye zvakanaka zvinodadisa mufunge. Akanga ari mukoma wangu, anga ari munhu mukuru asi aizvininipisa. Ndiye munhu akatanga kundidzidzisa kuact. She was someone aiinspire, vaitipfiura, plus she would encourage us, especially to vechidiki nyau dzekugeza idzi.
Family members said her impact extended beyond the screen, bringing joy and unity into homes across the country.
Mama was such a loving human being, and that's the biggest gift that she gave us, her true love. And to the arts community, I totally believe that Mama will empower a lot of young upcoming artists.
As the nation mourns, many say her absence leaves a gap that cannot be filled, but her work will continue to inspire future generations. Vusiso is survived by 3 children and husband Peter Makiwa. ZBC News.
Newly crowned Miss Tourism Zimbabwe, Zanele Moyo, has pledged to take Zimbabwe's story to the world stage, taking advantage of her reign to promote the country's tourism and cultural identity.
Zanele Moyo, a 22-year-old from Bulawayo, was crowned Miss Tourism Zimbabwe at the weekend after standing out among 15 contestants in a competition that tested not just beauty but also purpose and national pride. Beyond the crown, Moyo is already charting her mission to amplify Zimbabwe's story on the global stage.
It's such a great honor. Right now, as it is, we are currently expanding our project, Discover Bulawayo. We are currently doing a few initiatives to actually expand the project and make sure that Zimbabwe is seen to the world and we are able to tell our stories the way we want them to be told.
The journey to the crown was demanding but rewarding.
It was such a very tough experience. I'm so proud to actually say that I managed to conquer that phase of my life.
With her eyes now firmly set on the international stage, Moyo is promising more than a representation, but also active advocacy for Zimbabwe's tourism sector.
I'm very, very proud to be representing my country, Zimbabwe, for Miss Tourism International in China. I am willing to uphold my responsibilities and make sure that I become the respective representative for Zimbabwe.
Moyo is set to represent Zimbabwe at the Miss Tourism International pageant in China, where she hopes to showcase the nation's rich cultural heritage and tourism potential to the world.
We're off to a break. We will be back with sports news. Welcome back. We now move on to sports news, where fireworks are expected in Mapisa, Matabeleland South Province on Saturday as Bulawayo Giants Highlanders clash with the Premier Soccer League champions Scotland in the Independence Cup final.
Petrol Lions have been drawn for the epic Independence Cup final pitting Scotland and Highlanders. The two sides collide this Saturday in a high-stakes encounter meant to spice up Uru celebrations. The two sides have contrasting league form as Scotland are in the top bracket, while Boso are yet to win in the league after 7 rounds of matches. Highlanders fans are not worried about statistics and are buoyant their side will lift the Uru Cup.
Kangaleli win 2-0. Siyawina.
Alaba sikhaluthi siyawina 2-0. 2-0 hayi Scotland ngeke sidraw futhi kwesithula siyaychaya ngoba sebesikuhome vele thina.
I-Independence le dlala ngomgqibelo sikhangelela ukuthi ama supporters ahambe ngobuningi bawo ngoba le national event kuyatshengisela ukuthi abantu bayathakazelela uzibuse. So sikhangelela ukuthi lathi icup yona le singayithatha ukwenzela ukuthi even singabe siyehlile ukuthatha ileague at least sathatha i-Gyros Jiri sesingathatha le Independence Cup. Kuyasithokozisa njengama-supporters e-Highlanders ukwenzela ukuthi celebrate i-100 years yethu sikwazi ukuthi lathi sile nkomitsho esilazo silama-cup esilawo.
Highlanders head coach Benjani Mwarwari prefers the underdog take.
Scotland are a good team. They have qualities in every way, and my goal as well, they can give us a good fight. Hopefully it's going to be a good independence, good show for the fans.
A win will restore morale in the Boso camp, who, despite being unbeaten in the league, are yet to beg maximum points. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Second placed Hard Rock face a stern test against former champions Ngezi Platinum in a Castle Lager Premier Soccer League match day 8 clash set for Chawanda Stadium on Sunday.
The two sides face off in one of this weekend's high-stakes match in the Premier Soccer League. The newcomers have been nothing short of sensational since earning their top-flight status, collecting 5 wins from 7 outings to sit level with the leaders Caps United on 16 points. On the other hand, former champions Ngezi Platinum Stars remain unbeaten with 4 wins and 3 draws and are on 4th position on the log with 15 points. Match day 8, however, rose into life on Independence Day this Saturday when Hirentals host the FC Hunters at Rufaro Stadium. The action continues on Sunday with the Mashonaland Central Derby between New Boys Agama and former champions Simba Bora expected to light up with the nice stadium, while log leaders Caps United welcome struggling till 1 at Rufaro. Triangle and Manika Diamonds collided at Gibo Stadium, and FC Platinum opened the gates at Mandava Stadium for Moors. Other fixtures have been moved to midweek after independence, with the defending champions of Scotland facing Dynamos at Rufaro, while Chicken Inn have a date with Highlanders at Barberfields on Wednesday next week. On the same day, ZBC Kariba host Bulawayo Chiefs at Nyamunga Stadium. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
The Zimbabwe rugby national team, the Sables, are leaving no stone unturned in preparing for the 2027 Rugby World Cup with several international assignments on the cards.
The Sables are sharpening their teeth against Zambia in a battle of Zimbabwe with the 2 matches on the line. The first leg will be played here at Harare Sports Club on the 25th of this month. Then the Sables will cross to Bulawayo on the 2nd of May for the second leg, which marks a return at Hartsfield, a home they haven't seen in 8 years. This is merely a warm-up for a friendly tour of South Africa against the Springboks before heading to the United States for the Rugby Nations Cup, a big game for the main event. Now, Zimbabwe will be against Pacific and North American heavyweights Tonga, Canada, as well as the United States, and some of these matches will be played in England. Now, these battles across 3 continents serves one purpose. 34 years of World Cup exile ends in Australia, and the Sables are not just preparing, they are awakening. Anna Shamrombezi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe international fast bowler Blessing Muzarabani has been handed a 2-year ban from the Pakistan Super League. Muzarabani had agreed in principle to join Islamabad United for around 40,000 United States dollars as a replacement for Sharma Joseph, but later pulled out before formalizing the deal. The towering seamer opted for a more lucrative move to the Indian Premier League with Kolkata Knight Riders, where he is set to earn over 150,000 United States dollars. Muzarabani is, however, not the only player to have agreed terms with the Pakistan Super League before switching to the IPL. Sri Lanka T20 captain Dasan Shanaka also signed with Lahore Qalandars, but later joined Rajasthan Royals as an injury replacement for Sam Curran. The Pakistan Super League has indicated that there will be an inquiry into that matter, but no sanction has been announced yet. And now we check in with the Meteorological Department for the weather.
Good evening, Zimbabwe. My name is Runako Manzira, and thank you for joining us in today's edition of the Weather Report and Forecast. Mostly sunny and mild conditions prevailed over much of the country this morning, although a touch of cloud in the northeastern areas. This was due to a cloud system that has been apparent in that area for the past few days, although by afternoon it was partly cloudy and warm. It became mild towards evening. Now, as we get into Independence Weekend, we're expecting some cloudy conditions to set over most of the country and a bit of moisture to drift in from the west, giving us isolated showers, especially in the western areas such as Lupane, Gokwe, and Bulawayo. For our minimum temperatures tonight, we should have mild conditions countrywide, especially along the central watershed, Harare with 14, Gweru as well, Gokwe with 15 degrees Celsius, but a bit warmer in Kariba with 21 degrees, and in Chiredzi with 18 degrees Celsius, Victoria Falls as well with 19 degrees Celsius. For maximum temperatures tomorrow, it should be warm countrywide, 30 degrees Celsius for most places, although a bit cooler in the central parts, Harare with 26 degrees Celsius and Gokwe with 27 degrees Celsius. In Gweru, we have 29. Though a bit warmer in the usual suspect, Kariba with 31 degrees Celsius. Getting into a detailed forecast in Bulawayo, it should be mild in the morning, becoming warm by afternoon, with mostly cloudy conditions. In Matobo, similar to Bulawayo, a 20% chance of rainfall being picked up from Sunday and into early next week, although should be warm for tomorrow. In Gwanda, we're expecting mostly sunny skies, a maximum temperature of 30 degrees Celsius and a minimum of 17. In Gweru, should be warm throughout the day, although those cloudy conditions clearing by Saturday. In Mashingo, warm as well for tomorrow afternoon, although clearing on Thursday and Friday, should be warm throughout the week. In Mutare, we're expecting mild conditions in the morning, becoming warm by afternoon under partly cloudy to cloudy skies, though clearing by Friday. In Nyanga, should be chilly in the morning, 10 degrees minimum, becoming warm by afternoon with 23 degrees Celsius maximum. In Marondera, similar to Nyanga, with a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. In Harare, should be warm throughout the day and most of the week under partly cloudy to cloudy skies. In Kadoma, should be warm throughout the week, clearing on Saturday and a bit of rainfall for Sunday. In Shinoim, should be warm throughout the week as well, mild in the morning, although in Victoria Falls, it should be hot and humid throughout the week with some showers being picked up for Saturday, Sunday and Monday. In Lupane, hot and humid as well, a minimum temperature of 18 for tomorrow. In Bindura, mild in the morning, becoming warm by afternoon under partly cloudy to cloudy skies. In Kariba, should be hot and humid throughout this week. This has been the weather report and forecast. Thank you for tuning in.
And that's a wrap from the main news team for tonight. Good night.